The bomb tapped 3 times. Sergey has come up clutch, and I think realizing, I'm not sure if Nex even noticed, he wasn't the one that planted the bomb of where it was. That piece of communication probably came out very, very late in when Nex decided how to play that. Tough to assign blame in a situation like that, but obviously that one hurts in a big way. And if you go all the way back towards Train, this has been Heartbreak City. No one is probably feeling very positive over there, and you're right, Sergey has been so clutch for ENCE. Just had another one onto the tally, and the Finns with a commanding lead here on Overpass.
Typically, it's the wiry veterans that have been around for years that are great clutches. The fact that he's this good and so young with so much ahead of him, that is a tantalizing prospect if you are Finnish. To have a player of this capability in your scene. In the meanwhile, Big, maybe playing a bit more aggro with these pistols. Again, look how forward ENCE are. Sergey, away from the playground, they've got Alouz behind him. More pressure though on the B side. So far, so good for Big. They've got a 2-for-2 trade, definitely worthwhile. They can trade across some of these guns, but Nex goes a bit too far out in the open. Wants to find information, and he gathers it, but it's at the cost of his life.
They have to do something. They have to do something to get information or to try and find a kill. Now they know there's 2 players coming from Sandbags. Here's one through Monster. Big win for Xantares. Still alive as well. GoB gives up his position. Wild spray from Sergey. And it's all on Alu. The veteran. You just said he must be clutch and he can't. It's GoB securing another round. And they have found a weakness at that B bomb site. And Big has gone back to it, and finally it works.
Yeah, that round was just purely off a timing event, stacking 3 players up aggressively in Playground and Balloons. So Aerial and X7 having to effectively play a 2v5. There's just too many bodies coming up against them.
Well, they're playing the wrong spots if you only have 2 players there. I mean, you had both of those players concentrating on Sandbags, so either it's the wrong spots or there's some kind of a miscommunication or mistheory on how they want to play that on defense, but both players focusing on Sandbags, and everyone knows there's a massive amount of bodies that come through Monster. You cannot just ignore that part. It's a critical part, obviously, of the B bomb site. Alu's been so good with the APT, it almost is a shame that we're seeing him back out of the shotgun. But that's the state of ENCE's economy.
Interestingly, Lexi elsewhere on the map, the X7 is able to connect but not frag, taps it. 2 players have been dropped pretty low though. Only a flashbang to play with for ENCE with over a minute on the clock.
I think Aerial heard some of those footsteps from Xantares as he's falling back. Look at the defense of the B bomb site for ENCE. It's completely evacuated. It's a risk because they know that Big has control of the short sewers. Or not short sewers, excuse me, the staircase. Aerial's going to start really flank. Remember, he was the one who took that long flank at long A. Oh no, do not make that footstep. He's about to have a massive backstab. 3 players here, 3 of his teammates to defend.
There should be shooting fish in a barrel, and it's going to be Sergey also chipping in with a kill. This is such a good hold for ENCE.
My fellow analysts told me that if they could keep Astralis within the 6-round region, they had a shot, and shot they did in the second half, but Renegades once again just become another number next to Astralis' successes on Nuke. 29 in a row. We're closing in on 30 here.
Yeah,
That's offline. That's a year.
I want to make something clear because a lot of people are like, why didn't Renegades ban Nuke? Well, they definitely don't play Overpass. So you heard Kassad say in the interview that they've been working on Nuke and that's why they went for it. The fact is, everyone's going to have a crack at Astralis at some point. They can't maintain that level forever. Someone's eventually going to get the victory. Maybe we'll change that 6 or less to 5 or less.
Yeah,
maybe that'll be the new number that we'll work with to keep them on the T side.
I mean, honestly, at this point, anything or less, if you can't get a single round on the T side, you've got a problem. I mean, that was a double digit, just 10 back-to-back CT rounds from Astralis. But that's not without lack of trying. And Jacob, I want to kind of throw a question to you that I was confused about.
Yeah.
We would cut through multiple rounds, and JKS is holding radio towards ramp while Force Ts are sitting at spawn. What's going on here? Help me.
That was one of those cool innovations that Renegades come out with on the T side. It's like on Mirage where you have that mid control that is constantly being fought for. You also had that going on Nuke with the door system. Flashes for that matter as well. Now, this time around, Renegades had a clear idea what they wanted JKS to do. They wanted him quick down to the vents and then into the window area. Not for him to get the kills, but simply to make sure that Astralis didn't have that passage, so to speak, to rotate through. You saw Device a few times being caught off guard as well, just running down there, getting his way up towards the secret area, but he was just faced by a JKS ready and waiting for him. So that was a cool little innovation for him, but that said, though, we saw him down there 3 or 4 times. It didn't lead to any round wins. They weren't able to capitalize of it. So the idea in itself is very cool.
Yeah.
They need to find out a way to actually make something out of it.
It might work versus another team that's not Astralis because they didn't look rattled by it. It was like, oh, it's thunder now, we're going to go chase him and make sure he can't be a nuisance. They're like, we know where he is. He's contained and he can't do any damage.
That must be so terrifying for the teams that are Astralis because you suddenly not only are focusing on the execute that's likely about to be thrown into the A site, but also there's a JKS that we don't know where he is. And that's known for Astralis.
That's been going on for such a long time, though. I believe Virtus Pro and Snacks in particular were one of those guys coming down all the time, constantly being an annoyance to play against. I think you even played against it at some point as well. It's super, super tough because you, as you said, you have to be aware that it can be an inside go, it can be an inside rush, but sometimes it's just a fake. They throw the smoke, they throw the flashes, and you don't know whether they're down there or not, so you have to be aware. That said, though, as Chad was saying, Astralis is one of those teams. They are super hard to rattle. Even with such an innovation coming out of Renegades right here, it wasn't able to make it work. So kudos to Astralis, kudos to Renegades.
Chad, we had some observations regarding CT.
Sean was talking a lot about this, and we'll actually put it on the telestrator, Alex. Sean was talking about seen on this clip we have right here. JKS is the round leader, and what we're about to see is an explosion from Astralis through this. He's going to get 1 kill, but they're going to know that when they get this kill that it is JKS the ramp solo, so they can go straight under. Now what Sean's talking about is how they prioritize taking that window. We're going to take a look at how they use the basic utility after this frag. They go straight into the ramp take. You can see here on the radar that they're very quick on taking under, knowing it was JKS who made that kill. And now it's going to open up, and you'll actually see this utility. They're going to throw a lot of nades into the window room. One of the things I want you to focus on is that Molotov, and then it's going to be a smoke towards the door. Now, the reason they do that, we're going to actually take a look at the map of lower right now. The reason that they go for this, right, so we're going to see the Molotov is going to land here on the stairwell. That means when they jump on in, now they just have to worry about securing this. When the Molotov clears, they can take the next duel. Why is this important? Because now the CT only have one avenue to rotate through. That's the gauntlet or from ramp. Now, the main way to get back into the bomb site has just been cut off. They can't actually go through the window. They can't go through the doors. And this little door here has been smoked off so they can get the bomb down with ease. That completely disabilitates the CTs. They're not able to rotate back in and makes it very difficult. And that's why Astralis likes to prioritize that part of the map.
And likely a brainchild of 2 men, Zonic and actually one of them took a moment in between this series. It has been a big series, of course, not forgetting Mirage, to catch their breath with Frankie. Let's go ahead and hear that interview before we jump into our third map. you go, you can see dupreeh on your screens as well. Lots to focus on and lots going on behind the scenes for Astralis. Well, that team huddle, it's just going to be spreading Zonic's flu amongst the rest of the team.
At least they're keeping it contained to the team.
Yeah, great for some. We do have to focus on lessons learned, and a bit, albeit quickly. Glaze saying that they're just not feeling up to their usual selves.
No, and I think, you know, you can see that in the way they play. I think that they seem not as dominant as usually are, and Renegades are playing well. I mean, pressuring them and pressuring them, so to speak. I think Renegades have a great on that new game as well. They were able to put a lot of pressure on towards Astralis. You were thinking to yourself after that 19 half, they want the pistols on that T half, you know, that could have spun out of control for Astralis. So there was definitely moments where you thought to yourself, all right, there's a chance here for Renegades, but that's it. Astralis, even on a C level or B level, is still a force to be reckoned with. So again, coming into Inferno, Renegades have to play the absolute best brand of Counter-Strike, otherwise it's going to be a tough game.
It really is incredible, just with Device on screen, Glaive reminding us that he's still struggling with his health issues. The fact that he does it again, 50 frags across the series so far, top of the scoreboard for Astralis, it is just testament to how powerful that man is, not only just with the AWP, but in the server in general. We enter into Inferno, but expectations, if Renegades were to do the impossible, Chad.
Renegades have already exceeded expectations in my book, right? And we can see that Astralis aren't playing at 100%, and Renegades are playing close to their peak. If they can continue that up in this match, that's fantastic. But just quickly, Astralis on land with this roster, 39 wins on Inferno to 10 losses. It's a strong map for them. It's their most played map. It's going to be very difficult for Renegades to be able to rattle them, especially in this environment, especially after they've got Nuke in the back pocket. This just becomes a best of one now, and Renegades have to start on the T side.
Impending Astralis victory, and it's up to Renegades to change our mind. Jacob, your final thoughts?
Just to back that statistic up, Chet was throwing out there, I think Astralis have only lost once the past 3 months, and that was against MIBR, which was at the ECS finals season 6, I believe. So that's a long time ago. Otherwise, they've been clean sweeping it. They won 14 out of 15 Inferno matches. So for Renegades to win this one, they have not only to play the best brand of Counter-Strike we've seen, they have to exceed that and play even better.
It has to be the very best Counter-Strike Renegades have ever brought if they want to do what many consider impossible. A best of 3 versus Astralis at the major, no less. It's gone to 3. Renegades Astralis with Sean Gares and Trace.
Thank you very much, fellas. Yes, the deciding map being Inferno, and the Renegades have pushed this one to the edge. Now, Astralis, being the powerhouse that they are going to have to get in here and set a precedence early on, which certainly they are trying to do that. Starting out on the CT side here in this third map of Inferno. Sean, we heard the desk talk about the statistics, the odds that are Astralis leading into the Inferno matchup. Now, if you were to tell me that Astralis can be beaten on this map, would you be lying?
They can be beaten. Na'Vi has proved that several times, actually, but it is very difficult.
And it should be very difficult. It is Astralis, after all. Renegades here on the T side, just looking to get into this A bomb site. Trying to get a little bit of wrap control, but now finding that smoke to be quite impossible wall to pass through. They have to let that go through
it. They're making a call here. They're going to the B bomb site.
This is a pitch for V.
Vivix is going to have to deal with 5 players all by himself.
A great read here for Ziv. He does not net any frags, does a considerable amount of damage, and actually that grenade does rain through Supreme there onto Azar. So now these 4 players of the Renegades are going to have to collect that bomb from construction, get it planted, and, well, Device going for the peak there alongside of dupreeh, and Device the first victim, dupreeh trying his best to be the second. Taking a ton of damage, and the bomb's still not planted until now. 20 seconds left on the clock, completely fine. You're going to see Astralis now back away from this situation entirely. They're going to go ahead and try to get out of there with the armor that they have. And, well, first round going to the Renegades this early on.
And I will say, Renegades has had some of the most creative and innovative pistol rounds I have ever seen a team bring to the major, and this is another one. They have people jumping out of holes into lane and then going through an arch smoke into CT spawn. They're just running the gauntlet around the entire map. Astralis completely caught out of position there.
And that's not necessarily what you want to start off with if you're Astralis. It is a slow start, but Nonetheless, the Renegades have prevailed here.
Now, Trace, this is by no means a free round when you're playing against Astralis. They will certainly force up here. They'll have smokes across the entire map, and it is going to feel suffocating.
Well, it might be as suffocating as some of the weapons we're seeing come out right now, because Magisk has bought up the ump, dupreeh with the shotgun. And, well, they're going to be trying to keep this round going. Look at the buy here, Sean.
And Renegades knows that Astralis is going to have a lot of smokes here, so they're going to have to work up and try to get map control as quick as possible to force these smokes out of Astralis' hands.
And right now, the contest banana does not exist. Astralis is not going to be there to reply, but Gratisfaction will have used that Molotov there to kind of cordon off the car area. They're going to try to pressure it a little bit. See just how far they can push it against the defense that is Astralis, and well, they're trying to pistol some stuff back down on them. Just not a whole lot there to show for it. dupreeh with the swing of the shotgun is able to take out Jacob before he's traded on by Gratisfaction, and that shotgun kill from dupreeh will help monetarily. But in the big picture of the round, it's 4 versus 4.
Yeah, that's a win for Renegades right there. Taking out dupreeh that early spreads Astralis a little bit thin. You can see they have 3 people around this A bomb site, but if Renegades wraps on A, they're in quite a good position.
Ouch. Azur finding device with the ump. And now things come down into the hands of Magisk, Xyp9x, and Glaive, and they're going to try to take these fights even though they're outgunned. And this could be deadly. They thought about the full wrap, and the peek there from Xyp9x could have been huge. Comes up a little short. And now the numbers game has gotten even more awkward. Azur being that last player to come through the arch is going to spot Glaive, and that bomb is just barely going to escape its way into the B bomb site from CT spawn. Azur trying to wait this one out, see if he can do something here to keep the fight in their favor, but with that bomb planted, Azur knows there's a player lingering around here in CT spawn. He's going to find him, but not the kill. Unfortunately for Azur, Glaive is the veteran with 3 HP. Gratisfaction cannot hold on to this bomb and the bomb site, and will fall in the first round on the board here for Astralis. Mind you, some SMG frags and even a shotgun kill from dupreeh. We're going to have a different money game going into this next game, or round.
My goodness, Renegades played that round so well at so many different turns. Glaive, speaking of turning, just a quick 90-degree turn to take out Azur on the flank right there. You got to feel for Renegades. If they would have just kept wrapping on the A bomb site, they obviously had no idea how easy it would have been for them, but alas, here we stand, 1-1, Trace.
That is the story as it is told, Sean Gares. 1-1, AK, and M4s alongside of Xyp9x's op, Xyp9x, before all of Denmark tries to find me. And yeah, the boys, no free at all. There's a couple upgraded pistols here, and that's going to be a Deagle and a P250. Gratisfaction with that Deagle. Just going to have to find something from a distance with it. And right now they're setting up in mid to perhaps take that fight, having been pushed off Banana. There is a smoke down there, and it's starting to fade, but this grenade's going to be pretty big, and a lot of damage done onto him as well.
I think we're going to see a lot of grenades like that in Banana throughout this match, Trace. Xyp9x and Glaive are kings of controlling that area, always peeking and prodding down, using their utility to perfection.
Well, there is only one king of Banana. That's not even in play today. So, Glaive trying to swing here in middle, and he would have had quite the present for himself. Instead, he's setting up the bait there for dupreeh. The Crossfire is in complete control of this mid-corridor, and Glaive is running around playing a different game than the rest of us. Jacob finding a kill with a Deagle, goes for the second. Can't seem to do it. Another round on the board for Astralis. And with that, we can begin to look at the monetary situation that is Renegades. Buy is in order. We're going to see some utility coming out as well. Now, if you're the Renegades, right, Sean? If you're the Renegades, you've got your buy here. This is what you've got to work with. You've got 5 AKs, a little bit of utility. What's the game plan? How do we approach this?
Trace, I feel like if I knew that answer, I'd be playing Counter-Strike and winning majors, because this CT side from Astralis is so hard to stop. They got to feel out this 3-man banana push and likely make plays towards the A bomb site. They threw a counter smoke towards the car, but Device getting an opening kill at the bomb site with only 2 players. That's going to really confuse Renegades this round.
Yeah, that's a rough one to swallow, especially Xyp9x playing real dirty there on the other side of the smoke. does in fact take down Azur, and now we have 3 members of Renegades alive, Gratis Faction, Jacob, and JKS. With a little bit of utility and AKs that they do have, they're going to try to get something going here as best as possible. But Device with the angle and the shot on the Jacob finds another one on the JKS, and should he find the last one on the Gratis Faction, they'll give him the 3-peat. But dupreeh instead will be marching through the smoke triumphantly and putting a 3rd round on the board for Astralis.
The first gun round of Renegades, we don't see them deal a single point of damage. Device just dominating that middle. I don't even know if a single Renegades player, I guess Jacob technically stepped foot in the bracket area, but not for long before Device put him down. Not much map control taken there out of Renegades.
Yeah. And a property battle does ensue, as the Renegades do have a significantly lesser buy, significantly less equipment and weapons to work with here. And, well, Device is going to go ahead and eat Gratis Faction's lunch for what it's worth. He didn't last long in this round. And as to be expected, Magisk with a little bit of a push down here on Banana. They're going to flash him through, and he's going to go all the way in. Start mopping him up one by one. Takes down Liaz. Jacob goes for Azur, gets him as well. And again, dupreeh is there to end out the round. And we do see a couple of shots there towards the ground. Don't think it's any sort of BM, but...
No, but this is something Astralis does a lot of when you watch them play. When they feel the eco is there, they're not afraid to just disrespect you. And the reason for that is because they know that's going to slow you down to such a terrible pace on future gun rounds, and that's how they control you with utility.
Yeah.
You never know what you're going to get when you play Astralis.
And they've basically cordoned it so that you have to sit there and wait out the smokes, which is something that Inferno is notorious for throughout every iteration of it, and they're playing it completely to their advantage. Device now set up in the halls with this AWP, and Renegades there in alternate mid. So
looks like we're gonna have a mid pop. They're willing to go through the smoke.
yeah, that grenade's going to hit him just a little bit, but the mid pop is there, and oh my goodness, the timing for dupreeh is just not. He does get flashed off, and he tries to throw a counter flash there towards the arch side, and actually gets caught out in the open. The trades are now coming in, and a massive shot there by Liaz, taking down Magisk. And what has been a trade of affairs here over towards the A site. They have elected to stick around, and the rotation from the B players is on. Device in this pit with the AWP. He's going to have his first shot off on the player coming out of halls. Actually, and quite a bit of damage on a real awkward exchange in the pit. Azur coming out on top. And now with the bomb planted, it's up to Zipex and Glaive to get back in this bomb site. It's going to pick up that Molotov, and he does have a smoke, but JKS does have the angle. Zipex with not much to work with here, nor HP. I don't see a world where he goes for this, and, well, for the rest of the Renegades, they've got to start to back out. He's going to cause a little bit of damage on his way out of the door, but that's a second one on the board for the Renegades.
Renegades right there, showing that they're not willing to just respect the smoke grenades